All right, can I get a thumbs up if you can see the slides? Awesome, thank you. So welcome everyone to tonight's South Branch Monthly All Hands, the Hurricane Ian edition. So with that being said, we are going to really take a deep dive of all of the ground that we have covered since the initial landfall of this storm and just give everybody insight of where we are, where we're going, and how you can get involved and also become a force multiplier. So with all of that, let's go ahead and get started. This is our agenda. Like I said in the general chat, it's mostly functionally focused updates, but we did also add in our friends from the volunteer management team, and we'll close things out with a little bit of recognition for a particular gray shirt that stood out, and then give you guys some, I'd say, behind the scenes footage of the training pipeline that we're going to stand up as kind of a just in time option out on the operations, because we're going to have a lot of first time deployers, and it's similar to Hurricane Harvey. We're going to have that next generation of Ian babies that are born. So we got to make sure that they're welcome, cared for, and appreciated. They have a good experience. So with that, we can go ahead and pass it in for a situation update. That's going to be Alex tonight. Over to you.
Thanks, Brittany. Currently, we have 256 gray shirts deployed to Florida supporting operations for Hurricane Ian. We have 62 gray shirts deployed in Puerto Rico supporting operations for Hurricane Fiona, for a total of 318 gray shirts deployed on hurricane operations. If we go to the next slide, we have a weather event developing in the Gulf of Mexico. Today, Tropical Storm Carl formed and is currently hanging out right off the coast of Mexico, and we will continue to monitor as it currently does not threaten operations, but as we all know, these change very quickly. So thank you, Brittany. Back to you.
Awesome, short and sweet. Thank you, Alex. So with that, we're going to shift into planning, and tonight that is going to be Caitlin.
All right, hey everyone. Just a brief update from the planning team for this evening. This team has been really hard at work, going nonstop the last 2 weeks. They're going day and night, just working to the bone to get these operations up and running for Sunshine Strong. They pushed out 3 Type 1 responses and 2 Type 3 responses, and they are working on another as we speak. So their hard work and efforts have gotten over 300 gray shirts on the ground into these communities that we're trying to help. We had Charlotte County as our first Type 1 response for Sunshine Strong, say that 3 times fast, followed by Lee and Polk counties, which were the additional Type 1 responses. Volusia County followed as a Type 3, and today we got DeSoto County to Opward as another Type 3 response. We have a team working on recon for Sarasota County. We're going to keep that one moving as well. And we're keeping an eye on some other areas as the floodwaters continue to recede, and we're going to assess any continuing unmet needs as they arise. That's it for planning. Back to you, Brittany.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, I can't thank everybody enough that has leaned in throughout the duration of this. It has not just been one person from start to finish. It has been several different people, and actually staying true to our word with developing work rest cycles and things of that nature. So it's been a really awesome collaborative team effort. So can't thank you all enough. And then next, I wanted to shift into field leadership. So that's going to be Ms. Beth Dumont.
Hey friends, so speaking of many hands that make this successful, South Branch has expanded to adopt our northern and our western cousins, as the case may be. You'll notice if we look at the slide, we've divided into 3 lines of effort, color-coded by team, in order to support the operations. And as we walk towards the next slide, awkward pause. Hooray! The colors are broken down. So you get a free snapshot of updates for Puerto Rico here. And we also start to delineate and share information. Lee County is currently a Type 1. We are closing out our first week with op period 7, 72 gray shirts on the ground with around 40 work orders completed. Moving into the blue team on the next slide as we transition through, it does cover another type 1, Charlotte County, and also Volusia County, which is a type 3. In Charlotte County, we have another 40 work orders completed. Period 9, with Rich Locke being the IC, expected to extend through the end of November. Talking about Volusia from an update there. First gray found yesterday. They are killing it with Jen Nieder as the IC. 30 gray shirts on the ground. Expected demo beginning of November. Last one talks about gray team. And as we get to gray team, it does cover Polk County, which is our third type 1 operation. In Polk County, we are also crossing that 11 work orders completed, bringing us to a total of just, keep in mind, my friends, that most of these operations have been going for less than 7 days. So being able to bring forth a work order completed number of 100 is something pretty new and big and near and dear to our organization. So a huge hat tip to all of our gray shirts out there and a thank you for those efforts. Last one to talk about, our brand spanking new one, is DeSoto County, which is our type 3. Lorraine Reiser from West Branch is stepping in as the IC, and we'll look forward to getting that going here in the next couple days. That's what we have from a field leadership side. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Beth. The tear to my eye was not because I just choked on my water, but I was just so moved by what you had to say. So I really appreciate that. So moving on to the next slide, mobilization. Derek Berg, tell us what's going on.
All right, y'all have heard a lot of big numbers and things happening all over the place, and that means a lot of work on the mobilization front. So we've had a team effort from volunteer leaders across all the branches, staff from all the branches helping in and hopping in, which allows us to get all these gray shirts on the ground, vehicles move, flights out, and all of that. I'm not going to read all these numbers for you, but you can see a lot of big numbers out there. Charlotte County today had 121 gray shirts in and out. I know there's been operations in the past that haven't had that for the whole time. We did that in a day there. And a lot of these other FOBs are going to be pushing that number on a daily basis. So we're going to be having lots of fun, lots of things, lots of impact, and helping those people that have just had the worst days of their lives. As you see this, one of the things I want to cover is just kind of that order of how people are getting dispatched out there. As always, we want to go with local impact first. So the drivers that are available are going to be the first chosen. Then we're going to go for those full flight waves, those 8-day waves, and then we're going to fill in with the 5-day flight waves. So you're looking at putting in your availability. Remember those options. We've had about 850 separate deployments across all the Florida operations so far. 460 of those are from South Branch people. So we're taking care of our own, and I appreciate all that y'all are doing to help your local leaders and your local gray shirts get out to the field and to support Florida, because it's close to home for me. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Derek. You did have one more big job.
More big numbers, more big help.
Yeah. Touche. Thank you very much. And we can drop these slides in the chat as well, just so everybody can get eyes on and review them. And as always, this deck is in the SharePoint repository that we have for our all hands documents. Just a shout out there. So next, we're going to go into logistics and tech, and I'm tracking that's going to be delivered by Anthony Lawson. So over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Logistics has been pretty busy overall. Some of our current stats, as you can read on the slide, Charlotte County FOB is about 95% complete. They're currently moving the FOB to a new location. The second MCC trailer should arrive on 10/13. Lee County is split up into 2 different FOBs. The first FOB, Kennedy, is 100%. Terry Park FOB is 90%, and we're still working on getting 10 vehicles over to Lee County for them. Polk County is 100%. This is where we're staging 3 different trailers, the Houston, Ohio, and Atlanta trailer with 150 cots staged. Volusia County fob is 100% complete. DeSoto County is about 95%. We're still working on tent lighting for them, and the ICP tent box is in the box truck. As always, if you guys do rent vehicles in support, if you've been given authorization, please, or you pick up any rentals, please email the rental agreements to sb.logistics@, and that'll get them over to the logs team so we can complete the 218. That's it, Brittany.
Awesome, thank you. I do think there might be, okay, cool, we got rid of the tech one. Awesome, thank you, Anthony, very much. Next, we are gonna shift to Miss Cindy Barrett for finance.
Good evening, everybody. I had a technical glitch tonight and I'm skewed normally and on my chart. So we're up to about $90,000 in expenses. This does not include any of the airfare, MOB, lodging, movement, etc. We are working on laying it all in for the first time and being able to see everything at once. We've had some in-kind donations. We're continuing to work in-kind donations. The other thing is, again, we're across the entire nation as far as finance support. We've got North Branch folks helping us. We've got West Branch. And we actually have Deb Luttrell, boots on the ground, in Charlotte County, and she is training Chris Domain, who joined us about a month ago, and we're giving him a baptism by fire. And that's about all that I have.
Thank you, ma'am, really appreciate you. All right, so next, we're gonna go to comms, and that is going to be Kevin Ryan tonight.
Thanks. So I'm going to go a little out of order with this and talk about content capture first. We have had at least 2 photographers on the ground at all times. We're doing them in FlightWaves also. We are good through the 16th, but we do need folks to step up for wave 3, wave 4, and beyond. So if anybody is a photographer and they're interested in that, certainly talk to Jonathan Davis or Trang Lee about your interest. For social media, we continue to post stories on a regular basis, both about Sunshine Strong and Borinquen on both North Branch and South Branch Facebook. Brittany and I are sort of syncing up on that to post a lot of the same stories on the 2 branch Facebook pages. And then I'm saving the top one for last. This is kind of hot off the press. We've had 102 media placements so far. And this is just for our ops in Florida. And as we talked about earlier, before the call even started, we've had some really sort of big interest media coverage because we've had Governor DeSantis there a couple of times. We've also had Senator Rubio come through and a lot of local politicians. So all told, we've had over 830 million views on those 102 media placements, which is really, really significant. So this is one of the best covered events we've ever had. So really good news, and we don't expect that to slow down anytime soon. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you, Kevin, really appreciate it. All right, so next, our friends from Volunteer Management are going to take the floor. Jess Green.
Hello, everyone. If we haven't had the chance to meet, Jess Green, Volunteer Management. Just wanted to first off thank Brittany for having us on the call tonight. And I'm going to be doing a little tag teaming with Laura Block. So first off, wanted to start off with some numbers, and you all are the first audience to see these. So very cool. We have 2,123 new signups for gray shirts, and this is as of 9/26 when the talk was activated. We have 162 signups through Volunteer Match, which is an external site that we've been posting essentially opportunities for people to find volunteer opportunities within Florida. We had 611 converted gray shirts becoming deployable. Guys, this is within the last 2 weeks. This is like 15 days, so that's pretty dang good. So of that 2,100 number, 611 have converted to deployable. And then we have also hit re-engage a bunch of gray shirts as well, 275 who signed up prior to got deployable in the last 2 weeks, which is awesome. We've had 25 referrals, thanks to many of you for participating in our October peer-to-peer challenge. In case you missed our email that we sent out a couple of weeks ago, we do have a leaders only challenge right now, where we're asking you all to refer your friends, your family, your colleagues to sign up for TR. And based on how far they get through the process to get deployable, you could have the opportunity to, win the ultimate prize, which is a lunch with Art, our CEO. So trying to do something fun here, have some engagement with you all. And again, thank you for your participation thus far and what you all will do in the future. And that will run through the end of this month. I do have a couple other things, and then I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Laura. Just wanted to update you all as far as like communication goes. We've done a lot of deconflicting since the start of everything, really. Lots of cross collaboration with other departments like development, to include also branch comms, brand comms, lots of communication over the last few weeks, making sure that we're deconflicting messaging, we're not stepping over each other, and not inundating the same audiences, during the same time periods, which has been phenomenal thus far. We also have been sending out or identifying different opportunities really to send tailored messaging to certain segments of Gray Shirts. Just one example, we sent out an email today. This is for all of the folks who became deployable within the last 14 days, really putting in front of them opportunities to deploy. So we've got Florida in there as an opportunity, of course. And then also training that's available to them this coming week, position-specific training, and also a couple of field readiness events that are on the calendar. So you frequently asked questions, things of that nature. So really just trying to get the right information to the right people at the right time. That's kind of the gist there. We are looking to have a couple more Gray Shirt chat events. We had one last Friday. It was a Facebook Live, and Drew actually headed that up. We're looking to do more of those, and then also some more like fireside chat type of situations. We may do that on a weekly basis, so keep an eye out for that. Exploring a couple of opportunities again for external recruitment by way of paid, Google and Facebook ads, things like that, to continue that sustainment throughout the next couple of months. As we know, we kind of tend to get that ramp up in the beginning when, the storm is kind of the center of attention in the news, and then things tend to kind of drop off. So that's kind of where our focus is creating that sustainment and looking at the long term. So I'll leave it at that. Laura, over to you to hit on some of our membership efforts.
So I've seen some unbelievable things today or this week, last 10 days. On average, we have 7 new signups in the South Branch every day. But Ian brought with us a little bit of a bump, and we were up to 100 signups a day. And a lot of leaders were deployed. And one Gray Shirt stepped up and really took the bull by the horns. They're a Texan. And has clocked in with 658 of the roughly 1,000 or so outreaches that have been required for new members in the last 10 days. And that person is there another slide? It's Veronica Salazar, and she's been absolutely incredible. And I cannot thank her enough. She's been checking in, we've been talking, and she's just been getting it done, and it's been amazing. And so I just can't thank her enough, because we all know that the sooner you outreach to a gray shirt and you help them through the process that is becoming deployable, the more likely you are going to be that gray shirt's going to stick around, they're going to deploy, they're going to get out the door quickly, and that is key in keeping them forever and ever. So thank you so much, Veronica, for not only getting us gray shirts right now, but gray shirts for years to come. Thanks.
All right, everybody. I'm gonna give her one. Thank you, Veronica, for stepping up and leading the charge on membership. It's such a crucial thing when we see the spikes after hurricanes. So just thank you all very much for everybody that works behind the scenes and does all the thankless stuff like Mauve and what have you. I've got Brenda up here in the talk with us, and you know that because she gave me one of these little things. It's like a porcupine, says stay sharp. So shout out to you, Brenda. And with that, we're going to close out the functional piece by going to training. Shawty B.
Good evening, everybody. Hey, as was alluded to earlier, we've got some pretty cool things coming up here in the, well, actually starting this week. We are starting our Great Disaster Training Camp. We're kind of slow rolling this week, but we will be we will have instructors on the ground in mass starting next week. We will be doing the training with the exception of the SAW one. We'll be doing training the very first day that everyone is on the ground at their various FOBs. So, you know, Lee County will be Saturday, Polk Sunday, Charlotte County Monday. Volusia, we're still trying to work because they're kind of way out there, but we're working on some solutions to get the training out there. The SAW 1 classes will be the first 2 days. But we are going to be targeting each FOB and their needs. So if they have nothing but mucks, obviously we're not going to have SAW training there. But if they have no mucks, then we're going to have SAW training there. But it'll be us working very closely with the ICs and the PSCs and trying to get the right training at the right time for when they need it. And you can see right there, we're going to do SAW 1, site survey, core ops, and roof tarping. Roof tarping actually has already started on a small scale, but we're going to try and amp that up coming up in the very near future. Can I get a next slide, please? So that being said, we also need CNGs super duper bad. In that vein of effort, we are actually increasing the number of position specific classes that we're holding. This is a small sampling. I could not fit all of them on there. I think each one has something like 8 coming up in the near future. So if that is something that interests you, please go into roll call, take a look. These are all virtual, which means you can do them sitting right where you're at right now. Another super duper exciting thing is coming up next week, actually. Patrick Wright is going to have a heavy equipment Ask Me Anything. There's some pretty neat things going on with the HE training. We're going to start up some HE01 training again. So if you're curious about that, please, by all means, sign up. It's going to be a really cool event. I have heard that Mike Allers is excluded from that, but we'll see about that later. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. More than happy to try to help you with whatever you need. That's all I've got, Brittany.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. So that should conclude all of the functional updates. And so at this time, I'm going to ask if there's any questions or save rounds from everybody that's dialed in.
I have one question.
Go ahead.
On the heavy equipment, I know it's I'm a HE level 2. I'm gonna try, hopefully I can get my son to sign up for this before it fills up. But is Patrick gonna have any CTLs there?
So I think this is mostly a virtual event that's going to be an Ask Me Anything session for people that are interested in entering the HE pipeline, as opposed to a physical on the ground training, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah, the trainings will be he's got a few sites identified already. But they're going to be largely at case dealerships, and we'll be utilizing their equipment and their facilities for those trainings. So more to follow with that on Patrick. I certainly don't want to speak for him because, well, he's scared.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All right, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm headed to Puerto Rico on Saturday. Are they going to be doing any training? I saw one, but I mean an AS one, but do they have any like muck out and other trainings going in case they have the need for that mostly, or tarps? Because I haven't done any of that yet. My other question is the fobs. What are they like? What am I packing?
So right now, to my knowledge, there is no training going in Puerto Rico. If they are, it is being locally sourced, but the mobile training team has not been stood up to go there yet. I can't answer the fob question, so I'll defer to somebody else.
I do have Miss Tracy Rankin right next to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and hand it over to her. I think we're on here. Oh, are we on this one? The big one? I think we are. Yeah, cool. Yeah, you're good.
Hey, so the current billets in Puerto Rico is in a basketball stadium, so they're staying out in the gymnasium floor. There is intermittent power, so sometimes in the middle of the night the power will flicker or go off. That's standard in Puerto Rico, unfortunately. So occasionally the disco ball and the lights pop on at 2 in the morning. So if you have an eye mask, you might bring that, but it's a standard TR billet. Over the next week or two, they may move to another billet that's closer to Ponce, but pack as normal, very high humidity, so maybe some extra socks and foot powder would be strongly encouraged.
Okay, thanks. It's just I didn't know if it was, sometimes you go to these places where they've gotten their power back and they freeze you out with the air conditioning. So I was trying to pack light. But other than that, yeah, ready to rock. Thanks.
Yeah, I haven't heard anybody complain about being cold.
Yeah, and I'll add this in the chat as well. Tomorrow, the field readiness team is going to do a hurricane session in the form of a battle brief that's going to walk through kind of an orientation of, what to bring, an Ask Me Anything session. There's going to be some speakers that have been engaged on the ground to provide some feedback of what their experiences are, and they can yield a lot of your questions during that. So it's in the chat. I believe it's at, is it 1900? Tomorrow should be. So yeah, check that out. I can speak for Florida, but not really so much Puerto Rico. But outside of that, does anyone have any other questions, comments, concerns?
I do.
Send it.
Okay, so the safety officer training, is that virtual on the 16th or the 22nd?
Every bit of that training is virtual.
Okay. Absolutely, because that's eventually that's what I want to get into. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other takers? I know we ended a little early tonight.
You've got some hands up, Brett.
Oh, do I? Okay. I'm actually going to drop the slide so I can actually see those hands. Thank you. Excellent. And just like that, we're in the game. And the hand feature now ranks it in order. So I'm going to start at the top, and that's Just Green. So what's up?
Hey, just a couple of saved rounds. As far as the details for tomorrow's field readiness event, it's provided in the above link, like in the chat, the email sneak peek that we sent out. So you can use that as a reference. And then also just wanted to drop in a link essentially to, I think it's Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday's membership/admin office hours. I meant to mention this earlier, but Laura Block has been phenomenal in hosting these. And this is really like, if you've never hosted an AMA or a grab your go bag type of event and you would like to, she's an excellent resource. So it's sort of an open forum, come and ask questions. It's open to all leaders, but primary focus is for membership and admin leadership. But I'm going to drop the link to the next one in the chat as well. That's all for me.
Awesome, thank you. So next I've got Rich.
I actually already asked my question.
Touche. It's a struggle putting the hand back down, and Teams is always upgrading. It's hard to keep pace with it, man. So, all right, well, thank you. And then Jim, what's going on?
Well, you know, I'm up in Kansas City. I'm going to do this proficiency thing over the weekend, just trying to get rid of some of this friggin' poison ivy from down there. But somebody posted up that they had steak and ice cream at one of the fobs. And being on the clearance team, I don't remember that. So now I'm holding out to redeploy until they actually have stone crabs. Do we know when the stone crabs are arriving?
Out of season.
If you guys haven't been told yet, at the Charlotte FOB, they have moved to a FEMA base camp. And if any of you have ever had the opportunity to lodge at a FEMA base camp, it is the Taj Mahal of all FOBs. Last night, several of them moved, checked into the camp. When you check in, you get your linens and your towel. You get assigned your bunk in the trailer that you sleep in. You go to the lunch hall, and last night they were greeted with steak dinner with baked potato, all the fixins, dessert bar. This morning they got a beautiful breakfast, their sack lunch handed to them. So living on FEMA base camps is a huge thing that volunteer organizations haven't had the opportunity to do. This is a huge cost savings. There's a couple things with that. They're dry fobs. We can't have campfires. But like, you drop your laundry off in the morning, and if things go right, it's back at your bunk, or you can go pick it up when you get back from the field. It is absolutely legit. It's a wonderful experience if you guys have that opportunity. Currently, the DeSoto FOB will also be at a FEMA camp, and they will have like amenities. So when you go to a operation and we talk about the amenities, that's a foot stomp. You should probably sign up for that one.
So Tracy, that's why Aaron Marshall keeps gaining weight on when he deploys, huh?
I can confirm that, yes.
Yeah. Look, Jim, I'm really sorry about your poison ivy, but I think we can all agree the people that are really roughing it are the people in the base camp, super austere. So, you know. Any other questions? Well, if you think of any, you can always leverage the general chat and Teams. Like I said, I'll drop the link to the slides that are also housed in SharePoint for your reference. And with that, if there are no further questions, then I will pass it over to Drew and San for a leadership wrap up. So over to you guys.
Hey guys, I'll be relatively quick, but wanted to call out, obviously we're a couple weeks into this now. Everybody's starting to see the scope of the damage, the scope of the footprint of the response that we're standing up, the duration of it, the complexity of it. The Harvey comparisons for us are a little inevitable. You're hearing as big as Harvey, bigger than Harvey. I don't know if it is bigger than Harvey, might be as big as Harvey, but I would like for all of us to think of it in a slightly different light, because, especially those of you guys who served through Harvey, Team Rubicon is an entirely different organization in 2022 than we were during Hurricane Harvey. So don't think of it as big as Harvey. Think of it as Team Rubicon is doing better than we did in Harvey. And this is where all of us can really start to leverage all of the resources that this organization has been amassing over the last 4 years post Harvey and really start to deploy them in a way that we make this experience better for everyone that we're trying to serve. It's better for the gray shirts that we're deploying. It's better for the community partners that we're working with. And ultimately, all of that means it's going to be better for the survivors that we are helping recover from the storm. So all of you guys, like all of the experience that you guys have as gray shirt leaders, all of the trainings that you've employed, all of the tips and tricks that you've learned, this is your chance to roll them out, because we have hundreds, probably thousands of new hires for Team Rubicon who are excited to get out there and earn their gray shirt, but don't know where they plug in. So leverage that ability, leverage those skills, and leverage all of the tools of this organization so that we're really able to make the impact that we know this organization is capable of. We're committed to Florida for the long haul. This is going to be one of the biggest things we've done in this organization. You guys are all plank holders in that. So let's make it as the best thing that we can be. That's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Drew. Good evening, everyone. This started out around the 26th of September as we saw everything that was transpiring in the Atlantic and onto the Gulf, and then onto the southwest of Florida. Doing a lot of things at the EOC at the talk in Chicago. Love seeing that it's a collaborative effort between North, South, and West Branch. I don't think there's no way we could be at the level that we are right now with all people being involved. As you saw in the presentation that we had earlier, all the different areas that are taking part in what we're doing, from all the different functional areas, from comms, from logistics, from planning, to mobilization, to field leadership. OSB, I said it before, North, South, West Branch. But most importantly, what's going on the ground with those gray shirts that are coming from all over the country to lend a hand to people that need them badly. We have dedicated 12 weeks or more to the efforts for Hurricane Ian down in Florida. I went to visit probably last week when I was down there, visit 3 out of the 5 FOBs. And to be able to look in the eyes of so many gray shirts that are out there, that are not there for themselves, but they're out there for the brothers and sisters that they're serving with, but most importantly, the people that were impacted by the hurricane, those communities. When I see that people are out there sweating, doing muck outs, doing tarping, doing sawyer work, it's just amazing that, you know, they do this from 6 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock at night and get up and do it again the next day. It's a beautiful scene to be able to talk to an 18-year-old college student that said that doing this work for the first time was the best thing that he's seen in his life. Now, yes, granted, he's only 18, but for him to say that being with other gray shirts and doing things for that community where he goes to school there in Fort Myers, that this is one of the best things that he's done. He's felt welcomed. He's felt at peace. He's felt that he had a purpose. When I look around and look at all the smiles on people's faces at the end of the day, I know that I'm in the right place. I know that it inspires me when I come back and work with my colleagues to try to build these ops, to try to do all the administrative things that we have to do to build these types of programs, training for our gray shirts. As Drew said, that this may not be as big as Harvey or maybe big as Harvey, but we have the skill set, the capability, the knowledge, the need to help people even more than we had 5, 6, 7 years ago. And it makes me proud to see all the great work on this call, all these numbers of what we've done with communications, the volunteer, Veronica, what she did to bring new volunteers. It's just amazing work. And all of us should continue to be proud of what TR does, to what you guys bring to what we do to accomplish our mission, the vision of our leaders, the vision of our volunteers, the vision of all of our gray shirts. Just amazing work. I want to end on this. I can't wait to get back out in the field again. I said this once before. It brings joy and inspires me to want to do even more when I go out there. So hopefully I'll see you guys out there at one of the 4 or 5 FOBs that we have in Florida. I wrote down the names of the really great looking FOBs that have all the good food. So I know it's Port Charlotte. So I know it's DeSoto. I want to try to at least stay one day at one of those. I want to eat some of that good food that they have there. But I also want to be with some good gray shirts as well. I'm going to end on this and just saying thank you again. And I'll turn it back over to you, Brittany.
Thanks, Ron. So I think at this stage, it would be safe to stop the recording. So